Flavor Flav! What's up, crew? So we're back here in this video. We're discussing ossification. So ossify who? Ossify what? Ossify what? Ossification, baby. That's what we're talking about today. So the skeleton of all embryos. So believe it or not, I was an embryo once. You were an embryo. I don't know if this guy up here was. Once again, I don't hunt. This is from a family member there, but also another guy up here. I'm not sure if. I'm sure he is an embryo too, but the embryo. But the skeleton of an embryo starts as two things. It can start as hyaline cartilage or fibrous membrane. So there's two types of ossification. That's the formation of bone. So hyaline cartilage can form into bone via a process called endochondrial ossification. That's that endo root or prefix we discussed prior, chondrial. So endochondrial ossification. That's when hyaline cartilage transforms and builds into bone. The majority of our bones do start off as hyaline cartilage, but there's a second type of ossification. It's whenever fibrous membrane turns into bone. It's called a intramembranous ossification. So there's endochondrial ossification, which is hyaline cartilage to bone. Most of the bones in our body are formed that way. Also, intramembranous ossification. It's when fibrous membrane turns into bone. Most of our skull is formed via intramembranous ossification, and also our clavicle bone as well too. So two processes do continue once bone is formed, and I just would like to actually add, it takes about 16 to 25 years for these for hyaline cartilage to turn into bone. So it takes our full growth, full development, our full growth stage whenever we're growing through puberty, all that good stuff. It can take up to 25 years for this hyaline cartilage to completely ossify into bone. So yeah, pretty cool how all throughout our puberty growth years, this hyaline cartilage is still turning to bone there. It's pretty nifty stuff. But two processes do continue whenever the bone is formed. So there's remodeling and resorption, it's called. So remodeling, resorption. So remodeling, it's going to make sense actually after we give the definition here, but it's the production of new bone tissue. So production of new bone tissue, the cell that is required here is osteoblast. So it's that building cell, building the bone tissue. It's the production of new bone tissue. When you remodel your house, you're building a new room or a new kitchen or a new cabinet, or your dad's yelling at you to hold something and you can't hold it right, or so on and so forth. But remodeling is the production of new bone tissue, and osteoblasts are required here. And there's also resorption, which is pretty much the opposite of remodeling. So it's the removal of old bone tissue. And guess what type of cell is required here? What's the opposite of an osteoblast? You got it, Squidward. It's an osteoclast. So remodeling, production of new bone tissue, osteoblast. The opposite of that is resorption, which is the removal of old bone tissue, and osteoclasts are prevalent here. So osteoblasts building up, osteoclasts breaking down. And major factors that affect osteoblasts and osteoclast activity are hormones such as parathyroid hormone, estrogen, testosterone, insulin growth-like factor, calcitriol, growth hormone, and yeah, that's really a calcitonin as well too. So check out the hormone section of the videos here to learn more about those. There's the calcitriol, calcitonin, parathyroid hormone, the sex hormones, which are testosterone and estrogen, insulin-like growth factor, growth hormone, are very important with osteoblast and osteoclast activity. So make sure you check that out.